Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I wanted to kind of do an experiment, right? So the experiment is workshops. So I did a workshop guide. It's going to be down below, also playlist down below for all the newest Bannerlord content from 2022. And, you know, it's up to date, and I will try to keep it up to date as best as I can. But the experiment is today, I was looking through Reddit, and I found someone saying that these are the best workshops in the game. They are on the screen right now, and I'm just going to read them off real quick. We have the brewery at Sanala. We have the silversmith at Sanala. We have the brewery in Marunath. We have the brewery in Donglenis. Listen, I can't pronounce a lot of these. We have the wool weavery at Chikand and the wool weavery at Baltic Hand. So those are very spread out across the map. Obviously, Sanala is with the Azurai. We have Marunanth and Dunglenis at what's it called, the Britannian land, and Chikand and Baltic Hand are at the Khazate side of the map. So obviously there are some disadvantages to having all these locations, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So what I wanted to do is I want to actually test this out because I wanted to see, hey, are these actually pushing these numbers? Okay, as you can see on that, it's pretty good overall. If you add all these together and you know, kind of divide it by 6, on average each one brings about 430 to 440 gold per day, which is really good since devs have stated that 200 is the benchmark for a good workshop. So therefore I said, let's do it. Let's go to these places, let's buy it up, let's change if we need to, and see what it makes us. So what I did, I sold the ones I had, and I went and bought these, all of these. And also I had to leave my mercenary group because, again, these are all over the map, and you don't want to actually go to war with one of these regions and therefore lose your workshops. So I did that. I became my own solo player, bought these up, and I waited. I waited the first 7 days, and the results were okay. You know, they were about 200 to 300, some still close to pushing 200, but it just got started. So I waited longer. I waited, I want to say, a little bit longer than another week. So another, about 2 weeks of in-game time. And the prices have went up slightly, but they still stood around between 200 to 300 gold. So then I thought to myself, alrighty, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to wait a very, very long time. So I left my computer running. I left, what's it called, my person in a town, and pretty much told them to wait for some time. Now, just for some background, the person who made this post on Reddit stated that this was around year 6 when he had these numbers, and the first time that I bought the workshops was actually year 3. About year 3 to year 4, right? So it was pretty close to year 6, but I thought, how about I push it to year 6, right? So if you didn't know, in Bannerlord there's 84 days per year. So when 84 days passes in Bannerlord, a year passes in Bannerlord. So I wanted to go about a year's time. So I think I went up to like 530 or 40 days, which puts it about 6 years of in-game time. And what we saw is, we saw a little bump. It wasn't the craziest bump, but it was still pretty good. It wasn't the numbers we saw on Reddit, unfortunately. I'm going to show it to you on the screen. I'm also going to compare it to what it is in the post. But they were still pretty good workshops. I'm not going to lie to you. They were still pretty good. But now that we have seen it, and we have seen that the numbers don't completely correlate, I want to explain why. Because it's kind of important for maybe new people who are playing Bannerlord and wondering, hey, I did the same thing he did. Why didn't my thing end up like his, right? Why are my numbers different? Maybe your numbers are even better, it just depends. So here's why it depends. So workshops depend on a lot of things. It depends on how much people are buying of this certain thing that the workshop is making. How much materials are there for the workshop? While the villages do not change what they make from playthrough to playthrough, those stay static. Whatever the villages make that bring in the raw materials into the workshop, those do not change whenever you make a new playthrough. Workshops do change, but the AI doesn't change it, the player can. The player can change the workshops, therefore messing up some of the production or enhancing production. What I mean by that is, if a workshop does bad for you, you can always change its production. When you change its production, a lot of stuff actually changes in the world as well, because in that town there's going to be a lot less of the product it used to make and a lot more of the product that you just changed it to, right? So you can change kind of the parts of the economy. But for these, what I wanted to say is this took him 6 years to make, right? Well, it didn't take him 6 years to make, but 6 years of in-game time to get to this point. Now, in 6 years, a lot of things can happen to the economy of the game, to how strong the towns are. You know, if they've been under constant pressure, constant wars, constant changing of, authority, different rulers, what's going to happen is the prosperity will not go up as much. But if there was a lot more trading done, a lot less wars, a lot less, if there was more profitability, then guess what? The prosperity of the town goes up. And prosperity pretty much means it's success. So however, if a town is very successful, then the workshops in that town are very successful. So while his save might have been very good and these towns produce a lot for him, or these workshops in these towns produce a lot, you have to understand that for your save, stuff might have gone differently in the world. The economy might have gone differently in the world. It all depends on a lot of different variables. That there are a lot of them that are out of your control, because the world is very vast and a lot of stuff does happen on this. But what I do want to say to you as kind of like a ending statement, for you to figure out what's a good workshop, what's not a good workshop. First of all, I do have a workshop guide. It goes more extensive into the points of, what are good workshops, good locations, this and that. I'm gonna link that down below for you to check out. But what I did want to explain is what makes a good workshop. So the devs came out with a statement saying that anything above 200 is very good. So if it's making more than 200 gold a day, it's a pretty good workshop. And this number tends to go up, this 200 number tends to go up, like I stated, as the prosperity goes up. Now in the game of Bannerlord, prosperity usually always goes up, but it depends how fast it goes up. So for places where the towns are very close together, like Botania, for example, right? Those places, the economy goes a lot faster because everything's so close together. Therefore, workshops and towns, they're more prosperous. They usually, get a lot better, a lot quicker. But places where it's more spread apart, let's say somewhere, for example, like the Sturgians up in the north, their towns are very separated. This will cause their prosperity to go up a little bit slower, therefore making their workshops a little bit worse. So you have to put all of these things into perspective. There's a lot of things you have to put into perspective, but just don't worry. If it's above 200, it's good. If it's not above 200, you want to make it above 200. Go check out what the villagers are producing. You can stand inside of a town and see what people are buying as well. Right above the town, you're going to see what people are always buying. And go check out the guide if you really need more extensive help. But if it's over 200, good. If it's a little bit less, you can always switch your production if you like, or you can sell it and try a whole different, workshop somewhere else. But hopefully this was an entertaining video. I just wanted to do a quick experiment. This got really high on Reddit, so I thought, why not? Let's show it off. Let's, see what it's all about. The person who did post it is called OMG Z Justin. So go show him, a thumbs up on his post or whatever, all that. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.